Greetings, my dear viewers! It is I, Drayhan, and welcome back to another Dungeons & Dragons character conversion. Now, you may be wondering, why has my normal introduction not come in? Where is the download? What character are we doing today? Well, as you can see by the title of this video, we are going to be doing 3 character conversions. 3 short character conversions. And what exactly do I mean by that? Well, for this video, we're going to be going over 3 characters that have one thing in common. For this video, it's going to be characters that are a part of a dark prophecy. Which, if you know these characters, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But we are going to be going over one class that each of these characters are going to have. Any other classes they might have will be explained at the end of their conversion. And we are only going to be covering their stats, background, and 4 class levels. Nothing else. No personality traits, no items, just the basics. Now, for the race that we'll be doing today is the Infernal Tiefling. And that's going to be for all 3 characters. This is going to be their common theme, a tiefling. And you'll see why once I get into the characters. The ability score increase is going to be +1 intelligence and +2 to charisma. You'll get a speed of 30 feet, dark vision of 60 feet. You got the feature Hellish Resistance. And you also have Infernal Heritage. And your languages will be Common and Infernal. Now that we got this out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the first character. And that is Ren Okumura? Ren Okumura from the Blue Exorcist anime series. Okay, now that we have a download, let's go ahead and get into this build. Like I said, his race is going to be Infernal, the Infernal Tiefling, which, if you haven't seen the Blue Exorcist series, here's a bit of a spoiler. Ren is the son of Lucifer. I wish I was joking. That is the main premise. Satan/Lucifer fathered a child. It seems kind of strange, but it actually works for this series. This makes Ren a Nephilim, which I'll get into the details of that later. We'll go ahead and start with his stats. You get a 10 on Strength, 14 on Dex, 14 on Constitution. Intelligence will be a 12. He's somewhat intelligent, but he's kind of not. Wisdom is where we are going to be having our dump stat. This is part where I say he's not exactly smart. But his charisma is going to be a 14. And thanks to our Tiefling stats, we have a nice 13 on our intelligence now, and a charisma of 16. Now, for the background, I wanted to go with my favorite background, the Haunted one. Mainly for the fact that you get the Monster Hunters pack. That's the main reason. But it kind of makes sense for Ren. Even though he doesn't act like a haunted one, there are a few episodes where it does come out where he's haunted by the events that started the series, which was his quote-unquote father being killed by his blood father, Lucifer. Again, spoilers for that series. That's probably the only episode I'm going to be spoiling is the very first episode. Anyway, it's a great series. I recommend you watch it. Now, for the class, Blood Hunter made the most sense. One, because he's hunting demons. That's the second premise of the show. He hunts down demons. That's not really a spoiler, is it? Or no, I thought not. Anyway, Blood Hunter just made sense for this particular build. You'll get a 1d10 as your hit die. Your Constitution modifier is going to help you with your hit points again, so you'll get a nice steady 12 hit points. Not bad for a Tiefling. And at higher levels, you'll get a 1d10 plus your Constitution modifier per Blood Hunter level. Proficiencies, your standard equipment, light armor, medium armor, shields, simple and martial weapons. You also get alchemist supplies for whatever reason. I guess to make potions, which I think he does in one of the episodes. I don't quite remember. Dexterity, intelligence are your saving throws. And for your skills, just go ahead and grab athletics, acrobatics, and survival. You also have your Hunter's Bane, which has a save DC of 8 plus your proficiency plus your intelligence. And you also have your Blood Maledict. At level 2 Blood Hunter, you get a fighting style, Grab Dueling, because he really doesn't use any long-ranged weaponry. And for your Crimson Right, grab Flame. He is all about that fire. Now, at level 3, the only Blood Hunter order that really made sense was the Ghost Slayer. Because at later levels, you get a couple special features that kind of match with Ren's powers. You could technically go with the Profane Soul, because at a later level, he has the ability to... You'll get the ability to devour the soul of your fallen enemies, which is pretty cool. Not exactly sure if he ever did that in the series. I don't quite remember. He probably did. Don't quote me on that. It's been a while. But the Ghost Slayer seemed like a better fit, in my opinion. At level 4, speaking of flames, if you choose to grab a feat at level 4, grab the flames of... Oh dear, I'm going to butcher this name. Phlegethos. Flames of Phlegethos. It'll increase your either intelligence or wisdom by 1. Go ahead and just grab intelligence. You'll also get, whenever you roll fire damage for a spell you cast, you can re-roll any roll of 1 on fire damage dice. You must use the new roll. Which, excuse me, as a Tiefling, you do get a couple of spells. Infernal Tieflings in particular will get a fire spell. Can't exactly remember what it was. And whenever you cast a spell that deals fire damage, you can cause flames to wreath you until the end of your next turn. Which, my goodness, does that happen a lot with Ren. And it gives you some light, and your melee attacks deal 1d4 fire damage, which is pretty good. With that, let's go ahead and take a look at any extra classes you might want to get with your Ren build. Go with the Oath of Vengeance. As we explained earlier with his background, his blood father killed his quote-unquote father figure. And throughout the whole entire series, Ren just wants to kill Satan. Out of vengeance. So an Oath of Vengeance paladin is more than enough of a fit. Now that we have done that, let's go ahead on our next character. One of my favorite comic book characters outside of Marvel and DC Comics, Hellboy. Alright, I guess you now see why we are doing Tiefling as our main theme, and why this video is called Dark Prophecy. Hellboy and Ren have very, very similar background, though Hellboy wasn't exactly born. In the movie, the original movie, he just sort of appeared after a ritual. Excuse me. In the comics, I don't exactly know what happened as his origin, but it's pretty darn similar to the movie, I have to guess. And then the new movie, which was pretty good, I won't lie, it was pretty good. Hellboy looked ugly, but that's the point, he's a demon. But it was still a pretty good movie. Anyways, back to his build. Thanks to that stone fist of his, we're going to go ahead and give him a 15 on his strength. 11's going to be his dexterity. Constitution's going to be a 14. Intelligence is a 9, be a 10 once you give him his infernal tiefling bonus. Wisdom is going to be an 8, and charisma is going to be a 16. Again, he is one intimidating fellow. Kind of have to be when you're a demon. Now, with background, this is going to be the only other time we are going to be using the Haunted One background for this video. And honestly, it kind of fits. Again, we're only doing it for the Monster Hunter kit. And his harrowing event is just being there. He's a part of some sort of prophecy. And the way I worded this just fits Hellboy so well. He really doesn't give a flying flip. Now, for your first class, we're going to go with Barbarian. Mainly because of the rage and the fact that the hit die is a 1d12, you're going to have a nice amount of hit points. 12 plus your Constitution modifier, which is a nice solid 14, which is pretty good. You also got the unarmored defense. Hellboy really doesn't wear any armor. He just has his fancy trench coat. So that's 10 plus Dex plus Con, which is pretty good start. Level 2, you get a reckless attack plus danger sense, which honestly kind of fits him as well. He's a little reckless when it comes to his fighting. He just wants to get the job done as quickly as possible. And if you've seen the skills animal handling, that's because he's a cat lover. Just thought I'd put that in there. Now, at level 3, we're going to go with the primal path of the Zealot. Really, it's the only thing that really fits. And in the new Hellboy movie, he's supposedly the descendant of King Arthur. So he's able to wield Excalibur. Spoiler for that movie, I guess. So, Warrior of the Gods and Divine Fury just kind of fits that little plot piece. Now at level 4, if you want to grab a feat, grab Tavern Brawler. This is so you get a better use of your mighty stone fist. And you get proficiency with improvised weapons. Your unarmed strike does 1d4 damage. And when you hit a creature with an unarmed strike or improvised weapon on your turn, you can use a bonus action to attempt to grapple the target. So pretty good, I would say. Now, if you want to grab an extra class, grab the Fighter. And if your DM will allow it, Gunslinger. Because Hellboy uses guns. He loves his guns almost as much as he likes his Cuban cigars. And cats. Yeah, he's definitely a demon for liking cats. But anyway, he's a gunslinger. So it would make sense to get a gunslinger, but only go 6 levels into fighter. Because your zealot is going to have some very good abilities when it goes to level 14. Now for our final build, one of my favorite characters from DC Comics, Raven from the Teen Titans. Okay. I can already see a comment or two down in the comments section. Drehan, why is Rachel Roth an infernal tiefling? Wouldn't it make more sense to make her an abyssal tiefling? And I hear you, and you'd be right. Abyssal would fit a little bit better for Raven's style, because Trigon wasn't actually a devil per se. While devils in the Dungeons and Dragons universe just want to control the world, Trigon wants it gone. And that is a demon motif for Dungeons and Dragons. So it'd make more sense for Raven to be an abyssal tiefling. But I thought that Infernal would just make things a little bit more simple. Keeps everything balanced. So our stats are going to be 10 for strength and constitution. Dexterity is going to be a 14. 12 on your intelligence, but it'll be a 13 thanks to the bonus. Wisdom's also going to be a 13. And charisma is going to be 14, but it'll be increased to 16 thanks to the tiefling ability score improvement. Her background, like I said, we're not going with the haunted one. We're going with Acolyte because of her time on Azeroth. And you get some decent stats. Some skills, some good languages, kind of makes sense. And Shelter the Faithful, which may or may not work too well in a D&D setting. Now, for the first class, obviously we have to go with Sorcerer. And with Sorcerer, you'll have a 1d6 hit die. You only have 6 hit points to start out, but you're going to be pretty powerful. Your spellcasting ability is going to be Charisma, and your origin is going to be Shadow Magic. Now, Divine Soul technically does fit with her upbringing, how she was born. However, the Shadow Magic Sorcerer's features are more one-to-one with Raven's own powers, especially once you get higher up in levels. Now, you may want to talk with your DM about reflavoring one of the abilities, because it lets you summon a Shadow Hound. If you can get your DM to reflavor it, cool. But it probably won't. You also get the Umbral form at 14th level, which is pretty darn good. That's basically her soul self, which has been seen in many different series. At level 2, you get a Fount of Magic, and at level 3, you'll get Meta Magic. Normally, I would go with the Twin Spell, but I wanted to go with Heightened Spell this time, because it's a little bit different, and I think it fits with Raven's motif. At level 4, if you want to go with a feat, grab the Ritual Caster with Wizard Spells. This will give her the book she is usually seen with. I know some of you are already typing out in the comments engine, where is her book? She's supposed to be a wizard, rah rah rah. That's why I did Ritual Caster. Now, if you wanted to get any more levels, you only want to go 2 levels into the Cleric. Either Light, Life, or Twilight. Twilight's because it has that Raven motif, if I remember correctly. But Life and Light sort of fit Raven a little bit better for when she breaks free from her bonds with her father. And look at that, we're already 20 minutes in. Like I said, we're supposed to do this quickly. Anyway, that's all I got time for today. Until next time, this has been Drehan. And now I have a Discord server. Link to that will be in the description. And I am offline.